Hello children, today we will be doing chapter number 1.3 on the wings of courage. I'm your English teacher, Ms. Rachna Chakravarti, and we will do this chapter part by part. Arjun Singh was the only Air Force officer of India to be honored with the rank of Marshal of Air Force. This rank is equivalent to the five-star Field Marshal post of the Army. So, children, I have selected part one to be just a beginning, and this will be covering your mainly the first page of your chapter. So, you can keep your textbook open so that you can relate with it. Now, the next we will be seeing a small movie of the 1965 war, Indo-Pak War. I hope you all know about the Indo-Pak War more, which is not given in your chapter, and how Arjun Singh fought for his country. So let us just see the movie about the Indo-Pak War. This movie will give you an idea
The
of
enemy
Arjun
made an
Singh.
unsuccessful attempt of threatening the peace at the borders. Facing an enemy armed with modern aircraft and weapons, the IAF gave a befitting reply and neutralized the threat to the nation.
And so, children, did you see the war? It was just a small film, very, very short. So, under his leadership in 1965 Indo-Pak War, where he had led India to victory. Now, let us take a quick look into the glossary. Since the chapter is based on Air Force, so you will find a lot of terms related to it. So, quickly, let us see all the words which I have selected for you. But there might be many more difficult words. You need to write it down in your notebook. So, please get your notebook also alongside and write on the difficult words. So, the first one is assiduously, which means working hard and showing careful attention to details. Second is astute, which means sharp and intelligent. Third is combat, which means fight between enemy forces. Then we have constraints, which means restrictions. Then we have squadron, a unit of air force which has two or more planes. Then we have thrust, a forceful attack. The next word is epitome, a perfect example. Then we have a brief stint, a short period of work. Now, children, there might be more difficult words. You need to just write it down in your notebook and consult a dictionary and write down the meaning. Now, let us see the next slide, which will tell us about the different types of planes which Arjun Singh flew. Now, are you ready to see some flights which Arjun Singh had taken? So just see, children, these are some of the aeroplanes out of the 60 different aircrafts which Arjun Singh had flown. He had flown more than 60 children, but I could just gather some of them. You can just see the aircrafts here. Can you see them properly? So just see that what sort of a fighter he was and why people till date remembers him. He is a role model for the youngsters too. People they worship him, especially the Air Force people. They just worship him. Just look at the ship, the aircrafts which he has flown. They are amazing, isn't it, children? Can you see the aircrafts? This is really amazing, and he was flying them. So, of course, this is one of the most interesting characteristics of Colonel Arjun Singh. Now, let us go to the next part of the story. So, children, here I'll be showing you the ranks of officers in Indian Air Force. And I'll quickly start with the main symbol of Vayu Sena. Then we have the different ranks which we have of the Air Force. You can see it starts with Air Commodore, Wing Commander, Squadron Leader, Air Marshal, Air Chief Marshal. Then we will see the different Air Force badges which the officers use. Children, you can see starting with flying officer when you just join the Air Force, you'll get the flying officer badge. Then you become flight lieutenant, then squadron leader, then wing commander, then you become the group captain, you get this badge. Then air commodore, air vice marshal, then air marshal, air chief marshal, and finally the Marshal of Indian Air Force. So these are the different badges given to you when you join as an Air Force. He was the third Indian to be honored with the rank of Marshal. So before him there were two more famous persons who got this rank. The first one was Sam Hormuzji Paramji Jamshedji Manik Shah. Children, this is only one person's name, don't get confused. Then we have K.M. Karyappa. So they too were very, very promising personalities, and they too were honored with the rank of Marshal. And then finally in 2002, it was Marshal Arjun Singh who got the title of Marshal. And after that, till date, no one is there. So you can try it up, children, those who are interested in joining Air Force. So the post of Marshal is still empty. So you can be a hero. The former Vice Chief of IAF, Kapil Kak, said about Marshal Arjun Singh, he was a very, very famous personality, and the way he had explained about Arjun Singh is commendable. So just listen to him, what he said. He said about Arjun Singh, remember, his contribution to the Indian Air Force is monumental to the least. The IAF grew with him. He was the epitome of military leadership in classical sense, and it is therefore not surprising that he was honored with the rank of Air Force Marshal. So remember, these are the words of IAF Kapil Kak about Arjun Singh when he was honored the title Marshal. Then we have the then Defense Minister at that time, Y.B. Chavan, had written about Marshal Arjun Singh. So these words of Chavan was also very, very encouraging. So what did he say? Air Marshal Arjun Singh is a jewel of a person, quite efficient and firm, unexcitable, but a very able leader. So hope you have understood the chapter part 1 of it. Still more to go. We will do about his life and achievement in part 2. Basically, I've covered right now in part 1 the first page, so you can just read that, and you will get to understand more nicely what are the parts I've covered. So in part 2, we will go to the next page of the chapter, and we will do in detail about his life and achievement.